Good morning, y'all. You might ought to be scared because you should see what a setup I have here. It's hysterical. I have stuff all around me. I have a lot of things to show you and several things to talk about. I have all of my Mania projects because I only did one new one. I did whips. But I did them all. That's priceless right there. So let's get started. Good morning. My name is Marlene. This is Stitching by the Lake. I'm in Hot Springs, Arkansas. I tried to go out and sit on the deck, which is right to my left today. I'm sitting in my stitching chair. In fact, I'll turn my computer and try not to make you too dizzy so that maybe you can see. It's awfully bright. There you go. There's a nice view. But do you see that wind? And do you see those clouds? There's sunshine right here, right now. But the storms are coming, y'all. They're on their way. They're supposed to hit eastern Arkansas about 12:30 or so today. And it's a bad storm that's coming. In fact, we had bad ones over the weekend. The light is going to come and go because the sun and the clouds are going to do that. And I'm sorry, it may make it crazy, but I've added a light, so maybe that'll help. I was in Fort Smith on Saturday, which is up in the northwestern corner of the state. I was at my son's because our granddaughter graduated from high school. And on Saturday, we were having a party for her. And at some point, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 or something like that, a tornado came through and dropped down several miles from their house, but in a little south and east in town. Did some property damage, but not any people damage, so we were grateful for that. It was kind of scary. The kids got a little scared because the wind got pretty tough, but no major damage. My son has some apple trees that are pretty loaded, and there were a few apples that came down, but they're so small and green that they held pretty good. I hope today's storms don't ruin that crop. We have lots of fruit in Arkansas, so I hope the fruit trees are not hit by this one. Anyway, today is Tuesday, and it is May 21st. It's about, let's see, what time is it? 11 o'clock in the morning in Arkansas. And I have been up and I walked this morning, not very far, about a mile, but that's okay. A walk is a walk. And am ready to get on with my stitching for the day. So I wanted to do a video first and show you what I've done so far and how Mania is going and all that sort of stuff. I will do Mania towards the end, so if you aren't interested in that, you might want to sign off at that point, and I'll let you know when that's coming, okay? First, I'm going to show you some things I have finished. The first one is a punch needle, and y'all, where'd it go? This one is called Marshmallow Punch Needle Design. It's by Tina Payton, and this is from a class that I did in Little Rock at the Shepherd's Needle. Some months ago. Okay, took me a while to get back to this one, but this is how I finished it. It's a little snowman. This is a pretty heavy pewter looking, not real pewter, dish that I found at a estate sale. I believe is where I got this one for a couple of dollars. And this just fit perfectly. Now, when I say it fit perfectly, the pattern was for a square or a rectangle. And I just switched that and made it into a circle and punched on out to where it needed to be a circle. And then I laced the back and pulled it in so it would be a good circle, and put some foam core in a round circle, foam core in the middle. And then put a little bit of the fabric, not the punch needle part, but the outer edges of the fabric are what's pulled in, and I put a little adhesive on there, on that fabric, and it's holding just beautifully. I love this. I'm going to have it sitting on an easel in the winter time with some other things that are this same metal. I think it'll be really pretty. before I go any farther, I meant to do this first, and I didn't. On my last video, I showed you this pattern by Theresa Kogut. There, I'm trying to get the glare off of it. It's called Prairie. Isn't it beautiful? And this was a giveaway. It was provided by Ann Thompson, who owns the Shepherd's Needle in Little Rock. Ann is giving this away and allowing me to do that, so thank you, Ann. And I drew, did the random number generator thingy, and Magnolia Nana is who this is going to. Magnolia Nana. I know she's going to love it. This pattern will be right up her alley. And if you would, I'm just going to put my email address in that box down below. So if you will email me with your mail address, please don't put it in the comments. Because last time that happened, somehow I couldn't get to some of the comments. It took me a while to find it. So if you would email me, please, and I will get this mailed out to you. Okay, the next thing finished, and I'm so excited about this one. This pattern was a gift from Elena and Olivia Christmas a year and a half ago. And it's called Bon Noel. No, that's really not the name of it, but that's what it says right there, which is Merry Christmas or something similar. Anyway, it took me a while to get this one finished, but I absolutely love it. So thank you, Elena and Olivia. And I ended up framing this one. Oh, that light. Okay, it's going to be kind of hard to see. I'm going to go this way with it, maybe. Because the fabric is dark, and right now the sun's gone again. There, maybe that's a little better. This was a fun thing to stitch. Now this fabric, I won't use that fabric again. I think this particular pattern would have been better served to be on something a little bit more delicate. This fiber was a little coarse. However, when I finished it, I thought the contrast was beautiful, and I really, really like it. So, framed, going on my shelves in my living room this Christmas. I also finished, oh wait, here, this was a thrift shop find. It was in a frame and pretty nasty. So I took it apart, I washed it, soaked it in a dish of cold water. I'm sure it's DMC threads because it's fairly old. But I did put a little bit of Dawn in it and soaked it for a little while and just made it into a pillow. And that'll probably be going to a special person as a gift. And speaking of gifts, I got the Sweetest Present in the mail. When I got that envelope, I thought, what is she doing? I could actually smell the envelope, and it smells so good. And I opened it up, and there was this card. Awake my soul and sing. This is the pattern, and I didn't realize that until I saw So Grateful's latest video. I watched it last night, and this is something she has stitched and finished, and it's absolutely beautiful. I loved it, and she made it into a card. Has the sweetest note on the inside, and she sent me, I'm trying to do this one-handed because my basket's trying to fall over there, this wonderful sachet. Look at this. It is filled with lavender. She stitched my initial on it. Look at this fabric on the back, y'all. It's a bee skip. If this goes over, I'm not going to be a happy camper. So, sorry. It's a bee skip on the back. And she put a little purple tassel on there. Just adorable. And then these purple beads, purple and crystal beads, up here to decorate it with. I just love it. And the charm on there is a cross, so she knew that would be perfect for me. Daylene, I just love it. Thank you. She also included some purple floss, which goes right along with it. I'm not sure. I can't decide. It smells so good. I'd love to put it in a drawer, but it's too pretty to be hidden. So I think I'll hang it on one of the knobs on my dresser. That'll be better, I bet. Then another thrift shop find. My sister actually found this one and bought it. It was framed. And it was not real clean, so she took it out and washed it. And she wanted to reframe it and then decided it wouldn't work for her, and so she gave it to me. So I just made it into a little pillow to go in one of my dough bowls. I used just a little navy print on the back. This was very, very faded, y'all. So let's talk about that. When dark fabric is in a frame with plain glass, and it's in a room where there's any light whatsoever, it's going to fade. This one was very distinct when we took it out of the frame. And it would not, there was nothing to be done because it was just faded. So what I did was sew it right on the line of the fading so I could maximize how big the pillow was. It was framed very tightly, very close. It's such a cute thing, though, that I just didn't want to scrap it. It has a date on it, 1984. That's when this one was stitched, 1984. It has initials, too, but they're with red thread, so they're very difficult to read, and y'all know my vision's not the best in the world anyway. But that's 35 years old. So it had a right to fade. That's my take on that. I've shown you this before. This is the February wordplay, but I did finish it since the last video. I'm finishing all of these very plainly with no rickrack or anything like that because I didn't want it to take away from all of the little motifs and the words. I wanted those to stand out. And they are going in a bowl. Someone asked me if I would show all of the ones I've done, but right now they are stored according to the holiday they're closest to. Like I don't even remember which ones I've stitched. I'd have to go look it up. But this February one would ordinarily be in with my Valentine decorations. But as each holiday comes around, I'm pulling them out so that I can have them in a bowl, a basket or something for a collection. Okay, I got one little thing missing here. It's just falling down in the basket. It'll be okay. Spring Fling, I showed you last time I had finished. This is a Brenda Gervais pattern that came out at market this year. Absolutely love it. I did not stitch, what did I leave off? The birds. I left the birds off. I don't know why. I didn't care for the birds. And I love birds, but didn't care for those. And I framed it. I found this frame at Goodwill and painted it just with a spray paint. That's easiest to do. And it fits very well. Plain back. It's an old frame for sure. Not antique old, but just old, you know, kind of like me. I'm not an antique yet, but I am pretty old. And then I love these Heartstrings samplery. Well, I love everything that Beth Twist does, but I love these festive little fobs. And I stitched, some time ago, I stitched the little tomato one and couldn't decide what to do with it. So I ended up doing this, and I think I'll use it as an ornament. I could go back and put some pom-pom on there, but I didn't have a color that I really liked. I might do that, I might not. I don't know. We'll see. And then two things I found at the thrift store Saturday. This was $7. It has a mate. I'll show you. Y'all, the frame was worth more than the $7. But it's beautifully stitched. It's on 14 count Aida. It might be 18. But it's very pretty. I loved it. Now I got to find a place for these. And this is the second one. I'm running out of walls. I got to stop this saving the stitches. Because what am I going to do? Hang them on the ceiling? I mean, my goodness. There's just so much you can do. But they were $7 each, and how could you not? How could you not do that? I did see several stitched pieces in this particular thrift store. It was actually, it's an antique flea market that I go to sometimes in Fort Smith. Last time I was there, I saw 3 absolutely stunning cross-stitch pictures of Native Americans in their Native American clothing. 2 of them were warriors with the headdresses and that sort of thing, and one was a woman, a princess, in the leather fringed kind of dress. The 2 warriors were gone this time when I went in, but the princess was still there. They're very beautiful, but they were quite large, and I have absolutely nowhere to put those. So I didn't pick them up, and they were a little more than they were well worth the price that was being asked, but just more than I wanted to pay. And you know, the strangest thing, I saw a really nice sized, I don't know, 12 by 14 sampler framed, and turned the ticket over, and it said sampler picture something something something, framed beautifully. And I looked at it and I looked at it. It was old. I could tell that the same, but when I looked, y'all, and got really, really close, it really was a picture. It was not a sampler. It was a picture of a sampler. If I even had the salesperson come and take it down off the wall and get up close to it and talk to her about it. I said, you can't get into the back of this, but she and I both struggled and finally decided it was a picture. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. Okay. I bought a pattern from Cindy, Cindy's Cross Stitch. She had a sale, and I bought the salt box pattern that she had, but I have evidently put it away already, so it's not here. But I did buy something else that I wanted to show you that I really like a lot. First of all, I have this lap stand, okay? And I've had it, I don't know, 3 years maybe. Love it. It is, I got it at the Shepherd's Needle in Little Rock. I believe it's Case Creations. And it has 3 adjustments here, so you can put your, I use a hook and it fits right in here and comes out this way. And this is what I stitch on pretty much, let's say maybe 75% of the time. I've shown y'all before my little clamp-on stand that I put on my table. And it works great, especially for the smaller things. But for larger things, and I don't stitch great big things, but for medium size, let's say, I use this stand. And I have bought another one. Brenda at Handwork Maniac did this to me. She had this one from Artisan Designs. This is what the bottom of it looks like. It has these little bars here which holds it on your lap really well, and I like that. Case Creation does not have that. This one does not have the bend in the middle, and frankly I like that a lot. that it doesn't have that, because these on my case creation tend to loosen pretty easily, and I can be in the middle of stitching, and this middle one will slowly start to bend. So I wanted to try this one to see if that helped me any at all, and it does. I like it. I just got it in the mail yesterday, but I stitched with it last night, and I'm very, very happy with it. Another thing that I can do with this one, I have this clamp-on light. It has a plug-in that goes right there that I took off so I can show y'all. I think this is a Bright-Tech light. It will clamp onto a table. It has a stand that's very heavy, just a flat stand like this, and it fits down into that, and you can sit it on a table, or you can clamp it on. Well, it fits great clamped on right here. It's very, it will clamp onto the other one, onto the Case Creation one as well. However, because this one has these little legs, it is up under there and it doesn't seem to wobble. With the Case one, when I put this on, it's not quite as steady. And this light, y'all, was very reasonably priced. I don't remember now what it was. It's on Amazon. Bright-Tech is the brand. And this is my second one. I will say that my first one got handled a little bit roughly when I was somewhere else, not at home, and it snapped. The person who was working with it snapped it right there, and I had to buy another one. But I love it. Works great for me. Okay. I'm already 20 minutes into this, and I'm getting ready to start Mania. So for those of you who are not interested, you might want to know that that's where I am right now. Excuse me, y'all. I'm picking up my basket. I'm not going to try to do these in the order that I stitched them. They mostly are in that order, but I don't figure you care which day I stitched them on. That's probably not important to you. This one is called Books of the Bible. It is by My Big Toe Designs, and it looks like this. I love it. What more can I say? It's beautiful. When Mania started, let me put it like that. Let me see where this is. I had done, I think, Micah. I worked on this one quite a bit. In fact, I've worked on this one 3 different days. It takes me about an hour, I think, to do one line right here. And there are 17 lines containing the books of the Bible, and then there's an ornate border at the top and a little short verse at the bottom. So this one's going to be a little while in the works. However, this is also my morning stitch right now. Y'all know that Vanna, the Twisted Stitcher, is doing a morning stitch. She's doing a Savior's Praise right now for an hour in the morning to kind of get your day centered, and that works really well for me. I'm a creature of habit. I get up and I make my bed every day. That comes from an incident that happened in my life when my girls were little. Rusty was not yet born, but Tammy was 4 and Lori was about 6 months old, and my mother-in-law came over one morning about 10 o'clock. I adored my mother-in-law, absolutely adored her. And she came in and she came to help me do something, and she walked into my bedroom. She said, "Oh, you haven't made your bed." And then she went, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I said that. Please forget that I said that. You don't ever have to make your bed if you don't want to." And of course it was funny, but I don't know that I've missed a day making my bed since then. And that was when Tammy was 44 and Tammy is now 54. So I still make my bed first thing every morning. And then I get something to drink and I do my morning devotions and send my morning text. Most of you know that I send a positive, uplifting kind of a text to my children and grandchildren and friends and church friends and Flosstube friends and whoever asks. I send mostly just weekdays. So I send that out, and then when that is done, I come to this room and stitch. And I don't watch TV, I don't watch Flosstube, I don't listen to a book. I have the lake out here to my left, and it's very peaceful and very quiet in here. My husband reads the paper. He reads 2 papers in the mornings. And so with just he and I, it's a very peaceful atmosphere. And that hour in the morning, approximately an hour, really sets the tone for my day, and I like it. So that's my morning stitch, and I will be, when that one is completed, I will be starting A Savior's Praise. That's going to be my next one. Okay. This is my second one that I worked on, Home of the Brave. This is a 3-part pattern. I've done one of them. I have done Land of the Free. It's framed and in my 4th of July decorations. And I have one more to do. Long May She Wave is the name of it. Little House Needleworks is the designer of this one. And this is where I am after Mania. I had, I don't remember where I was when I started, to tell you the truth. I had done that top border, I think is pretty, and maybe this, and I think I did the words and the house, what little bit's done on that house. There are some of these that, like everyone else, as I worked on them, I did not want to leave them. This is one of them for you, Theresa Kogut. I love her patterns. Her color changes are subtle and add such depth to your picture. They're just wonderful. I got quite a bit done on this one, actually, as well, because I didn't want to leave him. All of his face. All of his face. That's right there. That's what I did. And so once I got his eyes in, he took on a personality. And I mean, I didn't want to stop because there he was. This is my oldest whip. I was going to look and see when I started this one. This is Cornwall Cottage from Rosewood Manor. Started in December of 2016. It's on a 28 count even weave, and I dyed it with coffee and tea. And it looks, this is what the pattern looks like. I'm sure you've all seen it before. I'm not very far, but it's so, so pretty. Look at that. I had to rip a good little bit. In fact, I ripped this whole flower right here and had to start over again. It was off a stitch and a half. Don't ask me how. I have no idea how I did that. But I did that flower and this and this and these and maybe some of that leaf. The most beautiful colors in this pattern. Just beautiful. The red is that. The colors are kind of jumbled right now. Cayenne is one of those reds, which I think is just a beautiful red. This one is coming back out now. today. And it's staying out until it's finished. Molly Pitcher from the Early Americans. She is the last one for me to stitch. This is on Tin Roof Gingham, and this is where I am with her, and pretty much the house, the roof, I had done the 2 chimneys, so the roof and windows that you see, all of that I did, because I worked on this one twice as well. In fact, that one, thread out of that, for Mother's Day, my children offered to frame one of my pieces for me, and that's the one I've chosen. So it's definitely going to be finished pretty quick so that we can get that done. This one is one that Abbey started, Abbey Bella Stitch. Oh, I don't have the picture part of this out. It's Miss Mary Mac. Y'all have seen this. She had done most of this that's done here, she had done. I put in the words black, 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 went a little farther down with this border, and a little bit more on her dress. I will probably put her away again for a little while, and as I get closer to October, I'll pull her back out and try to get her finished. This is a Prairie Life sampler from Heartstrings Samplery. Started during Mania last year. And it is on 35 count R&R. All I got to do on this one, I had about 2 days when I only got a little bit of time to stitch, and all I was able to do was to go out with the border. I needed this out here as a counting point for what goes under here. And these leaves, I got the leaves done right there. This was my only new start, and it's a new start because, Brick House Sampler is what this one is, because it's part of my Stitch 9 challenge. So it got to get into Mania along with my whips. And this is on Aida. Now let me tell you the story about this Aida. I'll get this needle binder off of here. At a yard sale or thrift store somewhere, I got this big, huge, maybe a yard of Aida, I don't know. And it was a pale yellow, which is, here, this is what it is right here, pale yellow. It was so stiff, literally so stiff, I could not work it. And I mean, obviously, it came from a thrift store or something. It was very, very inexpensive. And I thought, well, you know what? I won't have wasted a lot if I do something drastic. So I did something drastic. I threw it in the washing machine. I did not put soap, detergent. I did not put any detergent in there. First, I rinsed it. Just the rinse cycle, and spun it. And then I went back on a gentle, I did all of it on the gentle cycle, and I added just a tiny bit of soap and added some vinegar to the rinse water, and I washed it and I dried it in the dryer. Now, when it was done, it had strings for days on the edges. I just went into my cutting table and cut all those off. It is soft. It is wonderful, wonderful. Now, I'm not telling you that every piece of Aida would do this, but this one did. The color is perfect for this. This is what I got done. Part of this tree and some of the letters. And I'm absolutely going to love it for this project. Now, I cut off a good bit of it, obviously, because it was really a huge piece, and I dyed it. I didn't bring that in to show you, but I'll try to do that next time. I dyed it with walnut shells, and I love the way it came out. It's going to be beautiful for some other things. This is my only finish, and let me qualify this by saying this is God Save the Queen, a beautiful, beautiful pattern from Annie B's Folk Art, but I wanted only the bee. I didn't really want all of the other stuff around it, although I think it's gorgeous. It just wasn't, I didn't have I'm not a beekeeper, but my sister is, and one of my daughters is. So I wanted the bee. And this is how she turned out, which I think is just wonderful. This fabric is 28 count, picture this plus legacy. It might have done a little bit, it's hard to see in here, but the wings actually show up pretty good. It might have been better if it had been a tiny bit darker, but it's fine. This light has just gotten bad. That storm's coming. The trees are really blowing out there. Another heartstring. Seems like I had several heartstrings, didn't I? This one is Thou God Seest Me. And this one shouldn't take too terribly long to do, so it will come out again before too long. This one is 28 count Cachel doubloon. All I had done before, I think, was this green up here. And so I added the rest of that. And this is another one that I'm looking forward to getting back to. This is another Plum Street pattern, Hello Summer. I have done Hello Spring. I have the others, I just haven't stitched them yet. They're kitted up even. And on this one, this is another one where this is some fabric that I'm not crazy about. I think this is going to be real pretty on it. I had done just the navy. I added the stars and I added the red on the flag. Pineberry Lane, Mrs. McGuire Bee Charmer. This one I actually got quite a bit done on. I had done just this little bit right there. Really, that's all I had done. So I got all the rest of that. This one has really pretty colors in it too. More Plum Street. This one is one of the sampler lessons. Not new. It's an older pattern. Make use of present time. It's hiding from me, y'all. There are the threads. There it is. These are kits. Which is one reason why I love doing them. And I had done the upper part of the tree. So I finished the tree and started on those words. There are also 2 more of these that I have waiting here, kitted up, because they came as kits. And they are, oh no, there's 3 more. My goodness. Nope, 2 more. Part of the cereal bowl collection. This one is Lesson 3, Awake My Soul to Industry. And this one is Ever Faithful and Ever Kind, Firm and Generous, Be Thy Mind. All of them very, very sweet patterns. We're getting close, y'all. 3 more. This is one of my current favorites because who doesn't love this one? Judge Not. I worked on him a couple of days too because I didn't want to put him down. I had the first sheep done and the outline on the second sheep, and I've done the rest since Mania started. I watched someone's video or saw on Facebook, I don't remember, where someone said they were only doing these first 4. And I don't know how they were going to handle the words, if they were putting them on or leaving them off or what. And I thought, well, that's a good idea. You don't really, there's a lot of these sheep, and they take a little while. But then as I stitched them, I thought, no, I can't do that. I can't leave somebody out. Couldn't do, I just can't. So I'm going to stitch them all. This one is from this book, Sweet Land of Liberty, Blackbird Designs. And it is, what is the name of this? In Full Glory, maybe? This is a wonderful book. Yeah, In Full Glory. Looks like this. It's been stitched many times by many people. The light's glaring on it. And I don't know where I was when I started, but here's where I am now. This is a really stiff fabric. What is it? You can tell I'm not crazy about stiff fabrics. .32 count MCG natural. I think I got it at Hobby Lobby. And I'm fine with getting fabric at Hobby Lobby, but this particular one is just very stiff. I started it during Mania last year. And it's another one that I need to get going on because this is May. 4th of July will be here before you know it. Brenda Gervais, Grateful, Thankful, Blessed, which looks like this, except you really should turn it like that so you can see the house. Standing straight up and not all sideways. I don't remember where I was when this started. This is another one I had to take something out and finish, but this is an absolutely beautiful piece. It's very difficult to see here because the colors are muted, but they're beautiful, beautiful in person. This is one that will definitely need to be framed. Okay, and that was it. That was 19, y'all. Stitch Mania 2019, and all completed. There is a certain amount of freedom in doing something like that. There's also a certain, I don't know, you feel almost responsible, although I don't know who you feel responsible to, but if you say you're going to do Mania, then you feel like you need to do whatever it is you said you were going to do for Mania, whether it was 31 or 19 or 5 or whatever. You just feel like you got to do it because you said you were going to do it. So I was glad to be able to do that last year. I tried to do Mania and didn't get to. Got stopped in the middle when my brother got sick, and he's doing great. So I was tickled to be able to do that this year. So that's all I have for you. It's almost summer here. My hydrangeas are, they're about this big. They're not turned completely yet, but they're out. And if the weather had cooperated, I would have shown those to you. Although we do have sticks all over the yard. One of the wonderful things about living here is I have these big, old, stately oak trees, and it's wonderful shade. But the downside to that is every time the wind blows, sticks come down, and it's a horrible job for my husband, bless his heart, to pick up sticks week after week after week, and he burns them because there are too many to do anything else with. And he's got a big, huge pile out here by the lake waiting to be burned, because you can only burn, when the wind's not blowing and it's not raining. And it literally has rained and rained and rained, April and May, even part of March. We've had so much rain, and our ground is soggy. Our yard drains pretty good because it drains down to the lake, but some of our neighbors not so much. And it's worrisome because the tree roots get weaker, and the trees come down easier. So I'm praying for safety for everyone in the path of this newest storm that's coming through today. Texas, Oklahoma, Northwest Arkansas, Missouri. I know that a lot of those places are going to get hit with it. So that's all I have. I'm going to say goodbye, and I thank you so much for coming to visit with me and spending some time, and I hope that you come back again. Bye-bye.